Welcome to another episode of Two Wheel Oklahoma.
Today we're going to take a ride down the southern half of Oklahoma State Highway 10. We're going to start in Fort Gibson and then we'll head south to the Gruber off-road vehicle riding area. After that we'll finish our day at Greenleaf State Park.
So grab your helmet, pull up a couch, come right along.
Let's hit it. Oklahoma Highway 10 is one of my favorite roads because if you notice, even on the state map, it has little green dots beside it, which means like it's scenic. And it really is.
Love Highway 10, but it's kind of, it's an easy highway, good for cruisers. Not really very technical. It's not very hard. I guess that makes it good for a lot of riders. Beautiful the whole way though. Yeah, Rex talked me into Highway 10, I don't know.
You know, you get behind those tank trucks and man, the buffeting is just, you feel like you're a little weeble wobbling, man. Oh.
A nutritious breakfast.
Oh, yeah, speaking of.
Little Debbie is my personal cook.
But you know, all in all, it's a pretty nice day. Yeah. Our first stop on the trip down Highway 10 was at Fort Gibson, and we pulled into the historic site.
Pretty cool town, a lot of rustic buildings, a lot of old architecture left, a lot of history in that town. Then of course, as we get there, we had to visit the fort.
And the stockade, the fort itself, is a reproduction that in itself it has a little bit of history because it was a WPA project from the 30s. And it's a fairly accurate reproduction of what the original fort used to look like.
I don't know where the office is. It said that way. I wouldn't dare get around something like this without the proper attire.
We thought they were using live ammo in this thing, so we kept our helmets on just to be on the safe side.
Safety first-ish.
Is all that this is?
No, that's all iron, isn't it?
That's wood.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's iron, you're right. I understand most visitors that come here though don't wear helmets.
We may be the first helmeted visitors.
Since the conquistadors.
Yeah. To set foot on this historic site.
Some of the coolest stuff down there are the rock buildings that were actually used as barracks for the troops and things like that when it was actually a working fort. They've got it's really kind of cool. They've got a little museum set up inside there, and we met up with a guy named Chris Morgan. Kind of an interesting guy. You could tell he's like really into the history thing.
I think he got along great with Rex. They went off, I think, for hours and discussed historical aspects of the fort and the land.
I'm here with Chris Morgan, the site manager at the Fort Gibson Historical Site.
And Chris, tell me, why is Fort Gibson here?
Well, originally to keep the peace in the area. This was not exactly a peaceful area.
Oh, okay.
The U.S. government, well, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. You know, there was a faction that wanted to set this aside to resettle the eastern tribes, and yet there were others that wanted this to become a part of Arkansas, you know, sort of a western extension. But whichever way things went, they had to make the area more peaceful than it was.
Okay. And what is this building we're standing in right now?
Well, right now we're standing in the commissary storehouse. If you'd been a soldier here in the early days, this is where your food would have been kept, your rations.
Right. Hardtack, salt pork.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And it's the visitor center now, and there's kind of a museum here.
That's
They're
right.
showing the different eras of the fort.
And what, if you're wanting to visit Fort Gibson, when's a good time to come? Do you have any annual events here?
Well, coming up, as a matter of fact, we have several this fall. We've got our Fall Bake Day, for example, in November. And then in December, we have one of our most popular events. The second Saturday of December is going to be the Candlelight Tour. And that's an event at night. Again, it's living history where you can go with a tour group and visit the rooms that are illuminated by candlelight or lamplight and see the history of the early 19th century here at the fort.
Sounds like fun. So it sounds like any time's a good time to visit Fort Gibson if you're out and about. Well, thanks a lot, Chris. We're going to wander around and enjoy the view.
After I got through talking with Chris Morgan inside the visitor center, I looked around trying to find Brad, and he'd disappeared. I never did figure out where the heck he went.
So things start slowing down a little bit. I try to sneak off a little bit as Rex was explaining everything about the bakery and the armory, and he seemed to know every little aspect and what everything was for, so I know he had the crew riveted.
This is the bakery, and this is where they made the paninis, and this was the origins of sub sandwiches. A lot of people don't realize that, but during the Civil War, sub sandwiches were really a big deal, and you know, they invented the Merrimack and those Ironside things. They were kind of submarines. That's where the term submarine sandwich comes from. A lot of people don't realize that.
You can still smell it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of got that. Yeah, salami. You can kind of smell the salami and the pomegranate yogurt bread.
So after we toured the historic site, we decided to look for someplace to have lunch. And turns out there's this really great restaurant literally across the street from the stockade. So we just kind of pulled the bikes over there to the Badlands Smokehouse and had lunch. Turned out to be a great decision.
Welcome to Badlands!
We never get here on the day when they have the special, and it's like it's Wednesday. I'm loving it. It's a gumbo day.
So are you going to have the gumbo?
Oh no, I can't stand gumbo. So why aren't you kids in school?
Because we wanted to hang out with two real Oklahomans. Yes.
I'm flattered. The kids didn't want to go to school that day because they'd heard that the TV show was coming to their restaurant.
Either that or that was their day to work. I don't know, but they were pretty young, so either way, they're going to be in trouble.
All right, we just left the fort, and we're sitting here with Byron Spencer at Badlands Smokehouse. Rex and I came in with the crew and had some good lunch, excellent food. Now, how long has the business been here? You've only been here for 3 months, but...
Right, I'm wanting to say 15 or 16 years. And the reason I say that is I had a Pepsi route here way back when, and I delivered the first Pepsi in here.
So how did it come about that you just up and bought a restaurant?
Well, just an opportunity came, and I've always kind of come around here, and then, like I said, I had history with it, with delivering Pepsi to it.
I'm sure you ate here.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the food. So
every time you delivered, they'd have a bologna sandwich for you.
Okay.
But yeah, smoking barbecue is a hobby, and now it's a job.
Oh, so you've always done this
In the backyard, just like everybody.
Okay. You thought you were good and you found out you really were. And,
everybody with a smoker thinks they're good.
well, that may be true. That may be true. We noticed you don't just have barbecue.
Right. No, we have a pretty large menu. Cheeseburgers to steaks to catfish.
In fact, neither Rex or I got barbecue this
Right,
time,
yeah.
so I guess we...
Well, that was a good thing. That shows the menu.
The diversity of the... Okay. Now, we heard from some of the locals that you had kind of a special drive-through service, and they told me to ask you about that.
Well, I don't have a drive-through, but if you have a train, sometimes we will deliver.
We saw the tracks running down beside the highway.
Right. Every now and then they'll call from up in Braggs, which when you guys go to Greenleaf, you'll be going that way. They'll call from that far away, and then by the time they get up here, we'll have it ready. And they'll stop and either come out and get it or we'll take it to them.
Blocking traffic? Do they block intersections?
They can't stay stopped for more than 20 minutes
20
to be legal.
Okay.
But yes, they do like our food.
Well, it must be good. I know we loved it. We're going to be back.
All right.
So we ended up setting with this really cool couple from Muskogee that were also there at having lunch, and that was really fun. They highly recommended the gumbo.
Are you all from Fort Gibson?
No,
We're from Muskogee.
Oh, okay.
Well, close thing.
So you're out on a day trip, sort of, to Fort
Yeah.
Gibson. So what did you have? Did you have the gumbo?
I had the gumbo.
That's where I was headed. I was Gumbo Town.
It's good.
It is. I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans. And,
Oh, yeah?
And believe me, it's a New Orleans recipe.
Oh,
it's a real.
cool.
It's a
gumbo.
real deal.
Okay.
Told you.
Stay tuned. When we get back, we'll head for the Gruber ORV area. We'll do it in the dirt.